Hi guys, welcome to Medium Rare with Liisa. Today's show I have Sloan Tate, who's here from Florida. She brought the warm weather. Thank you. We love that, and tomorrow it's going to be 30.
Welcome.
So, how are you?
I am doing amazing. I'm loving New York City and all the buzz of the energy. I feel like a little child wandering
around. It must be kind of, is it like really intense being a medium and being in New York City?
I think the most intense part about it is that when I first discovered my gifts, I was living in New York City and I became super depressed, overwhelmed. I didn't know what was going on with me. I didn't know how to manage it. And so today I was thinking about that, like how so much can change and how it's manageable.
Now, how did you know you had this gift? How did this start for you?
For me, my dad always says, I always say at the beginning of time, like my dad and my mother are both mediums.
Okay.
But they have the gift. And my dad always saw spirits around me as a baby. He had 5 children, and that was the only one that he just had all these crazy spirits in my nursery and just strange phenomenon, kind of weird things going on. And then I grew up in the country with horses and dogs. So I just used my gift with the animals, speaking to them and doing that. And then as I got older, my dad always told me ghost stories because he's a medium. And then
I should have him on.
Yeah. I don't know. He's not so out in the open, but it's fine. He's not online or anything. He lives in Tennessee and it's amazing. But it was when I was a younger girl and I would see ghosts in houses, and that's really what happened. And then I took yoga teacher training.
Really? Okay.
Everything else was I could brush off, and I had this really deep desire to be normal, and and I think that's how a lot of gifted people grow up. And I wanted to blend in so bad. And then when I found out this gift, which was in yoga teacher training, because I started seeing spirits, and I also did Reiki. I got my Reiki certification, and I remember in the certification telling the woman, "There's something crazy going on that's not like." It's beyond what you're describing should be happening when I put my hands on someone else. Because I was having visions and I was seeing things, and there were synchronicities, a lot of synchronicities happening around it. So I eventually just spent a lot of years studying it, traveling to different spiritual communities, sitting with different mediums, sitting with different cultures, different tribal elements that still incorporate mediumship and spirituality in the basis of their culture. So that's kind of how I discovered my gifts. And then I've just grown and gotten deeper and deeper in it more. But I think in the reality of it, it's just being kinder to myself and allowing myself to be free, allowing myself to honor the small voices inside of my head.
So how do you know sometimes, like, who you're talking to? Like, how do you, are you talking, are your spirit guides coming through? Are angels coming through? Is it someone else's spirit guides? Like, how can you tell the difference?
For me, some of the higher spirits that are very, very high, like channeling archangels, or there's a whole realm, I feel like, in the spiritual world. It's like you sticking there's someone said this, sticking your pinky in the ocean, and the rest of your body is what spirituality is. There's so much out there.
I've never heard of it like that. I like that.
But there's this ginormous world out there, and what I've learned through the countless readings that I've done is that anything is possible. So there are times where they'll tell me the name, and then there's sometimes where they won't. But there'll be times where they'll be like, "How dare you to ask me for the name when I'm giving you all of this valuable information?"
Right.
And it typically depends on the person that's coming through, like who this information's coming for first, because I'm always calling in and asking in for the highest good. I'm asking in for the greater good. What is this person? What's going to be in their greatest good to know at this time that's really going to benefit and open their heart to stand for love?
Right.
And that sometimes isn't like you're going to win the lottery tomorrow. Or your boyfriend's coming tomorrow and he's going to be in a Bronco and really hot. I don't know.
What, before we get on with Valentine's Day coming up, and I do get a lot of things about twin flames and soulmates, and it's like a huge thing. But before we go there, I also get a lot of questions of, you go to a medium, they say something. You go to another medium, they say stuff. You go to another one, they say stuff. They all say different things, but they all say one thing that's the same. And that one thing doesn't ever happen. What do you make of that as a medium?
I love this question because I'm always exploring it too. I mean, spirituality and being a medium and a psychic is really reading in between the lines, right?
Okay.
So it's reading the air in this room. It's not like you have a black dress on. It's going in like to the why you chose that black dress. That would be like if I'm reading the black dress, right?
Right.
So I think it's interesting because I myself, when I first was really discovering this gift, I didn't have a lot of belief in myself. And so I would go to all these mediums, seeing if they would see the same thing that I saw. And I saw different kinds of things. And then there was a big moment in my life where I called off my wedding.
Okay.
And before I did it, I called up 3 psychics and mediums. And I asked them all the same question. Is it in my highest good to leave this man? And they all pretty much just said the same thing. No, I think he's your soulmate. You should stay. And I left him. And it was the best thing that I've ever done in my entire life. Would I have left him if they said, I don't know. Maybe that was just what I needed to hear.
But see, that's also where our guts come in. Like,
Yeah.
You knew that it wasn't the right thing. And I know for me, I struggle with that, trying to know what my gut is. And is that my insecurity? Is that my jealousy? Is that a fear? Is that ego? Or is that my gut? Because I don't always know my gut. And I've gone on my gut, which I'm sure a lot of other people have. And then that's the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what was that? I went with what I felt. Or like when you meet someone and you feel something and you're like, well, okay, am I losing it? Do they like me? Do they not like me? It's all those things. And I'm not just talking about relationships. I'm talking about all kinds of different relationships.
Right.
Work relationships, friendships, whatever. But kind of going back to twin flames, soulmates, kindred spirits. I don't know if you're able to give us a little education on each, because this whole twin flame thing is becoming so huge the last couple of years, and it's confusing to a lot of people. I follow a lot of different mediums that specialize in twin flames, and a lot of them, well, you don't always get your twin flame, or you do get your twin flame, and someone that was just recently on my show said you just met him and there will be something. And I'm like, what? But I thought my twin. So please educate us on twin flames, soulmates, and kindred spirits.
Okay, so I'm still learning myself on this.
Okay.
But going back to the last question you had and combining these two, when after I left my ex, which I feel that my ex really had that important. There were so many lessons in it. But I think he was like, that was a soulmate to me.
Right.
People always are praying for a soulmate. And to me, my definition of a soulmate is someone that is going to teach you some lessons. And I don't know about you. You've been in a relationship that teaches you a lot of lessons. I just want a companion that we can cook breakfast together and like really enjoy spending time together and have great sex. Yes. I don't want to be learning life lessons with my partner. I'm really good. We can learn them together as like kindred spirits and souls in a really kind and loving way,
Right.
but I'm really good with the harsh lessons.
Right.
But this man, I got a reading from this guy a long time ago, and I was in a really bad place. I just called off my wedding, and I was just like dying, right? And so angry at God. Yes, the person that speaks to spirits and the other side. I was cursing him.
I do it all the time.
In my bed, like, why is this happening? I don't get it. I really got into that why me phase and became motionless in my life. And I went to this guy, and he was like, I don't see your twin flame coming for 3 more years, and he's gonna live in New York City. I see him with a scarf. I see him with a scarf. Da, 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 da. Well, sure enough, it's 3 years later. Oh, and I told him, I thought, I don't know. I think you're a fraud. I left thinking
No,
like,
really
this
quick.
is a kook.
So are twin flames, before what you, are twin flames people that you do marry or no?
I think marriage is an earthly thing.
Okay.
I think marriage is an earthly thing. So that's something that's upon your choice.
Okay. All right.
I think twin flames, to answer your question more directly, the twin flames to me are, gosh, it's like a flame when you meet them. It's so warm and amazing. And you instantly feel a rush of energy, like, where have you been? I know you from some other lifetime, like, and I get to know you here on this earthly bound. I think there's differences between meeting your soul twin flame in this lifetime, is especially if you're very spiritual, if you're very empathic, it can be easy to like rush into something, but really taking your time to understand them on this earthly bound. Because the spirituality, the mediumship is all great, and the twin flame magic is all wooey yummy, but in reality, like, how are we living here on earth? So I think that's kind of the situation. But with your twin flame, I think it just works. It's not hard.
So then you don't believe that the twin flames get pulled away from each other. You think
I think they can.
Okay.
I think it just depends on what path you're in. But I feel like even when that twin flame is missing, there's the twin flame. Okay, spirit's coming in. Oh, here they go. They're helping me out here. They're saying it's the yin and the yang. That's what a twin flame is. It
Okay.
makes the complete figure 8, the complete infinity symbol that goes on forever. And it's it's the complete, the meeting of the twin flames. Okay, they're coming through. They're saying divine balance of masculine and femininity. And that's what twin flames are. And I think if you're thinking about that okay, now I'm like, she's asking, because what you're asking is more of an earthly bound question of like, okay, what if? Like, what if?
Yeah, the direct messages I get on this subject is crazy.
Yeah, so they're saying that, yeah, sometimes they're interlinked, but sometimes they don't know each other, but they can feel each other.
Okay.
They're saying, like, sometimes you'll be about to meet your twin flame, and you'll all of a sudden have like a taste for floral shirts, and you meet him and he like loves floral shirts, and then you both are wearing floral shirts. Like, you'll start to pick up different things, like maybe they'll love to go to this gym, and like you'll love this, or you'll pick up different habits. If you sometimes a sign of being being close to finding your twin flame is also picking up a heritage or culture, suddenly being like interested in Guatemala or something.
Okay.
And he could be from Guatemala, or like I'm really into Asian men. It's just some of these things that aren't your normal path, or things that are coming in. You can pick up on these things and allow yourself to go wild with them and have childlike wonder exploring them. Soulmates, I'm asking if there can be a twin flame and a soulmate together.
That's a good question. I would think yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking yes. There's possibility, but the soulmate feels much deeper
than the twin flame.
Yeah, it just like feels like this, like, well, it's like your soul is connected. The twin flame is like, I am and you are. The twin flame feels more balanced and grounded.
I think a lot of people feel that they need to be with their twin flame other than a soulmate. I think that they feel that the way that it's coming across now with these different Instagram accounts that are twin flame based is that people are feeling that they have to be with their twin flame and they have to find their twin flame. And if they don't get with them, then they're never going to be with anyone or anything. It's kind of how my impression is. And I get a lot of direct messages on that too. And I always believe what's meant for you is going to be for you.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself that, and I tell that to a lot of people. What is for you is for you. If it happens today or in 5 years, it's for you.
And I think our desires have a lot to do with it. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm living the life that I made up a couple of years ago.
I think I'm now starting to live the life that I wanted a couple of years ago.
I mean, when I was drowning in New York City and I was suffering so bad with mental health, trying to get myself together, figuring out what life is going to be like, hearing voices, I had no idea that I'd be here making a living out of it. I thought, like, and it's insane, but that was my ultimate vision of being able, what if that's possible, you know? Exploring. I used to watch Long Island Medium regularly,
Yeah.
you know, and obsessive, like, is that even possible or is this just happen for certain people? And I think it's so crazy because there's things we don't even understand at that time.
Oh, totally.
And even back then, there wasn't, people weren't so open about
No,
spirituality.
not
Like,
at all. Now they
now
are.
the world has like evolved. Even that was 7 years ago, and even just within 7 years, there's so much opportunity for things that I wanted that we've all kind of collided and collaborated with. And so I think I'm very firm in like what you are seeking is also seeking you,
Right.
and that there is absolutely a partner, a soulmate, like a twin flame.
I
that is
laugh
like,
because I'm so single. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
But that's okay. And it's funny. And I have a lot of friends that are single, and it's like, is it like something we're doing wrong? Like, and when I have certain people that ask me, like, all these mediums say you're going to, this or that. And it's like, yeah, okay. Because I get to the point, for me and my friends do too, it's like, okay, really? Like, and a couple times I've done you write out what you want, and then you meet someone, and then nothing happens. And it's like, okay. So it's just, I guess, like, if you're supposed to be, you'll be. I just know that it just kind of sucks when people are looking forward to something or someone so much and they don't get it. And I get frustrated with a lot of mediums and psychics who keep saying you're going to be with this person and then you don't get that person, or, this is going to happen and that doesn't happen. So, how do you recommend people deal with those situations? Like, so many people go to mediums and psychics now for so many answers. Like, I have people that, get a reading like 3 times a week.
yeah. I have clients like that.
And I just think that that's too much, though.
I have clients that try to meet with me about soulmates all the time, and they're actually the most repetitive, constant readings that I'll do if they're looking for someone. But I think that it's part of the pursuit. It's the lesson, because what happens when you don't get it? You learn to love yourself more. You learn to go
Absolutely.
back and you learn to love yourself more.
Yep.
And if I asked you for an orange right now, would you be able to give me orange? No. But like, because you don't have one.
No.
And it's the same thing with love. Like, you just keep learning how to deeply love yourself until that person comes along. And then all of a sudden, there you are with this deep, deep, deep well of foundation of love that is so strong and like stable, and a foundation to create whatever you want, a family, create businesses, create a legacy, a dynasty. And so I think sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I'm asking for big shit here.
Well, no, and I do too. But like, now I want to
And
go
that takes
back.
time. You know,
But
you don't plant the seed. You don't eat the harvest the same day you plant the seed. And it's, love is not just about getting lost in someone else. Love is about getting lost in yourself.
Absolutely, I agree.
It's totally about that. And like, and the deeper you love yourself, the deeper you're able to love someone else.
I agree.
And so I think sometimes when answering your question about like, what about with clients that come in for repetitively or like hopelessly looking for something, or just getting lost in the readings, they're not really like being with it, to me is that's what I tell them. It's like, you just have to realize that you're building something really big here, and you've got faith. You get to have faith. And also, we live in a society of Instagram and Facebook, and
It's
where
crazy.
we are all so in denying because we're keeping up with the Joneses, and we don't even realize that these people sometimes they're in relationships that are freaking miserable. Even the
Sure.
Instagram stars that I know them personally,
Right.
that like are like struggling hardcore, but then they posted the most beautiful picture of
Well, and
like
they say that. They say
Yeah.
that. Don't believe what people's Instagrams and Facebook's pictures, because half the time it's not the case. If someone's always posting about their relationship, they're not always that happy.
no.
So
I mean, who knows? But I think the biggest focus is to stay focused on yourself and not to get lost in comparing yourself with other people
right.
or feeling like, I mean, I've been the 100th bridesmaid. I mean, I have. And I live in the South where when I come home, people say, look at my hand and they go, oh, you're not married yet? Oh, I guess you have time. Like that's something they really say.
That's what my family always does to me too. They're like, "You're still
Oh
not,
my
you still
God.
haven't met anyone. You're not married." I'm like, "No, I meet people. It just doesn't always go my way." You know, it's just, and I'm at the point now where I'm happy being single. I don't need a man to complete me.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
Yeah, and we all get to have that experience at one time. And this is like, I'll also think that there's been times where I prayed and I'm like, next lifetime, I'm coming in and I want a full soulmate that follows me the whole time, Like, I want you to be childhood friends and we like marry right out of high school.
See,
and
I
then
don't
we do
think I
life
would want that.
together. And there's sometimes where I'm like, hell no, I want to be free. I love being free. So
Now, do you go back into past lives? Are you able to tell people about their past lives and stuff? Do you?
sometimes I do. I'll have past lives. It can be kind of confusing sometimes, but I have to get really clear about it. But there will be times I experience a lot of past times for me, um, but it can be hard for me to decipher from past lives versus um, from like what is happening now. Like for example, I did a reading for this woman that she does. She's a teacher here in New York City, actually. And she works for one of the school systems there. And I saw this woman coming through, and she was Victorian. And I thought, this is so odd. Like, you obviously don't know this Victorian woman. Like, you're not old enough. She's like my age younger. And then it came through that I'm like, I don't know. I'm just seeing this, so I'm going to give it to you. And she came home from work the next day and was like, oh my God, it's the woman that founded the school that I teach in.
That's crazy.
So you just never know. And it can be so interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I think we have people that I think we have questions. Do you want to go with Instagram
Okay,
first
let's
or
do it.
Facebook first?
Oh, maybe we should. I'm feeling.
Sydney has your phone, Allison has my phone, and then Facebook is in front of you.
Okay, so let's do it Instagram first.
So start with your phone.
Anything?
No?
Okay.
All right. Are people watching?
Yeah.
No one has any questions?
Guys, any questions?
All right, so let's go to Facebook.
Facebook for the win.
Can you read that?
Okay,
Close enough?
so Cheryl, will my son and daughter-in-law have a baby soon? They have been trying for 10 years. Okay, so let's see with Cheryl. What's Cheryl's son and daughter? Okay. Well, first off, I'm feeling a lot in my heart around this. So feels like we're like holding on to something. There's and I'm also hearing yes, but it's not going to be the way that everyone thinks it's going to be. I think that yeah, I don't know. I think that adoption is always a great option. And I hate to say that because that's probably not what you want to hear, but I'm here to just give messages from the spirit. But I just keep hearing adoption, adoption, adoption. And I see them with this baby child that will fill their soul in so many ways, and yours, everybody. It will be like this big bright light in your family. But I just hear surrender is so important in this situation. So Cheryl also asked about, is my mom and dad, my mom, dad, and 2 sisters around me, Cheryl. Yes, they are. And I see your 2 sisters and they're chatty. I see them talking. So it feels like they're the most active around you, kind of being really playful. I feel that your mom and dad are there, but there's also some other people that they're watching over as well. So they're really, they're there, but they're also pulled in different directions sometimes. Your dad is very warm. He wants you to know that he loves you. Oh. And he brings great new joy on your new adventures. Feels like there's a lot of new things coming in your life soon. Yeah, he's just opening up his hands and he's seeing all these gifts and just so much love. There's a lot of celebration, new beginnings happening in your family. As before in the first message, I guess that confirms for that one. Elizabeth Marie, will my brother-in-law heal? Is he very ill? Any messages would be much good. Okay, so Elizabeth's brother-in-law, will he heal to sickness? Mm. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of medication being pumped through me, and that might be something to look at with him to make sure that whatever the doctors are giving him really actually be active in looking at the prescriptions and what are in the medication and doing the research on everything that they're giving you. I'm starting to feel my right side of my stomach right around here. So it hurts, almost like an appendix, or my whole body. It just feels like his entire body is in a lot of pain. I feel like there are some gifts there for you to be by his side. They're not easy gifts to learn. They're more passing through emotional, some ancestral trauma kind of work. And what I mean by ancestral trauma is things through this sickness that you will be able to learn and heal from past traumas that have been carried on throughout your family. But it's beneficial for you to be by his side at this time and to pray. Any message for Cheryl Hook?
If you have a repeat person, you can skip it.
Okay.
Because there's other people that, like Dina Berry.
Should we go? Do you want?
Yeah. Well, if you have other messages for her, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm just saying I want to make sure that other people get in.
Yeah. Let's make sure we get everyone.
Can we go down for a second? I just want to make sure. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant up.
Okay,
Okay,
Cheryl. Well, I can answer Cheryl's question. If
Okay.
there's any messages for Cheryl, I hear live life vibrantly, go outside.
Okay, and then we have Dina. Was the
Okay,
next
let's
one.
do Dina. Let's get Dina in there. Good afternoon, ladies. Looking to connect with my parents, Gerald, and Deanna. Do they have any messages for me or for family? Been off of work due to medical issues. Will my social security go through this year? Thank you for your time. Okay, so look, there's a couple things there. Looking parents, Gerald and Deanna. Okay, so let's start with that. Gerald and Deanna, do you have messages for Deanna? Okay, they want to speak through me, so I'm just going to let them kind of channel through.
How about it?
So this is what they're saying. There are moments in time that new possibilities that you once never knew existed will come into fruition. Be patient, loving, and kind. Open the door to new ventures. Stay steady in your progress. We are proud of you. And there's some love there. Beautiful. But all forward to the medical school, my sister did it this year. And then about your social security. I feel like it will, so be patient. And then Cheryl again from Arkansas. I'm from Memphis, so that's actually really not far. Then I'm answering questions today while I get back to school. Ooh, Shelly. I'm actually hearing take your time getting back in school. I feel like there's an opportunity for you to be really laser focused on what you want before you go and invest a ton of money on getting education. Judy, will something we have revalued? Oops, we lost it.
There we go.
Okay, Judy. Will something we have revalue soon, and will we move soon? Thank you. I'm wondering if that's a house. Okay, Judy, let's see. I know this can be kind of a sticky situation when you really want to move, get out of that house. And Spirit's like, oh no, honey, you still have more to learn. But I think there's some more to learn there. And I don't know if I'm seeing a husband and I'm wondering if he's actually wanting to move and is his energy welling you to stay into that house. So I think that's an interesting conflict. There's a man living there with you, and I see him kind of, I don't know if it's frustrated, but he's not really speaking his voice. And I feel like there's something inside of him that's saying, this is going to be so exhausting to move and do all this stuff. Is this really what I want? Just making sure and getting clear on that we're all on the same page in your household. Okay, Donald.
Hi, Dawn.
Hello, Lisa. Anything for your old friend
Dawn
Dawn?
for many, many years.
Aww. Well, the first thing I feel around Dawn is like this big life force energy that's just like smiling all the time. Is that okay? Because he's like, that's what Spirit immediately just showed me. They're just saying, keep on smiling, being you. There's you. I don't think that Dawn, you know how many lives that you touch with just being who you are and staying with that steady presence, and just that your work in this world is to spread light and love and to let that speak through you, through your presence, and that thank you. I just hear an immense thank you. And there's this older woman here as well. It almost feels like a grandmother or some kind of she's elderly. I see her with gray hair. She's very nicely dressed, put together with her hair tucked back in a low bun. And she's the one speaking of that. Thank you. She's saying thanks. She's the one saying thank you. Patricia, will I get a better job? Okay. Let's see. All right. The first thing that came up immediately, and I see 3 people. I see you waiting in line and you looking line of everybody else, and then all of a sudden it's like you start getting this like wonder, and everyone's looking forward, and you're starting to smell the roses. You're like seeing a light. You're starting to open up and realize that you can really have and do whatever you want to do in this life. So I would go after that. That's what I would keep going and keep that childlike wonder. Deanna, thank you so much. Really, thank you. Do you see them moving soon and where? I need a change. Okay, Deanna, let's go back. I don't know why, but I keep hearing the word Minnesota. So random, and like I have no idea, but I just know it spit these things out when I hear them. I don't know if I'd want to move to Minnesota at this time of year.
Not me. Definitely not Chicago either.
So I don't know. I see something, and I see a house. It's in a neighborhood. It's kind of like a cul-de-sac house. I see red brick. I see a big, beautiful driveway, and it's cold outside. I don't know. I just see it's cold. It's in cold weather. So if that's what you're thinking about, and moving soon, it's just hard. It's one of those things. Spirit's telling me she's gonna move when she's ready to move. So they're not really giving me a date, but I think it will be interesting to see what happens in 3 months. Maybe things will start opening up.
I think we have to go like a couple more.
Okay. Carter, will I have a career change this year? Will my youngest daughter find her way back to me? Oh, I hope. But let's see what Spirit has to say. Career change. I don't know. I see immediately like something within like what I'm seeing is almost so similar to like a post office. Like everyone's in uniform, but they're wearing like big jackets, and they're all the same. I feel that there is an opportunity for more money. I don't know if it's going to be a big significant change, but I do see you getting a raise soon, and I don't know if is that from. And yes, they said yes, that's from a new change of job, but it seems like you're almost doing something very similar to what you're doing now. So it'll be similar with my youngest daughter finding her way back to me. I see her as a teenager, like maybe not quite a teenager, but I see her as preteen kind of era. And I do see there's something happening and she's coming back. I think that I'm also hearing that she's going to be very like invested in her friends at that time. So I don't know how that's going to work out. Keep saying prayers. I hope that.
I think we have Instagram.
Okay.
I have 2 questions. One's from Mel Andre, who asks, "Is there a message for me?"
Mel. Okay, I love that name. I see a little baby, and I don't know. Sometimes all the time. Sometimes that can be literally like new birth because this baby's really young and it's crawling around and carrying a heart with it. Or I don't know. They're also saying this that you know what this means. So sit with that. No. Is there anything else? No. Okay, I'm also seeing something tropical. Like maybe it might be time to take a break for a second. Feels like you might be doing a lot of work for other people, and it might be good to just like take care of yourself.
Before you do that, so back to your Dina, her parents' house is in Minnesota Road, and her brother lives in Michigan.
Oh wow!
So
This stuff surprises me too.
yeah. So what's the next question, Simi?
Molly Waterman asked, "Where is my love life headed?"
Okay. I love it.
Today's
I love that love is so in here. I shouldn't have worn black. I mean, I need to be more vibrant, even though we're in New York City.
Still have a week.
Okay, so tell me her name one more time.
Molly Waterman.
Molly Waterman.
And then Molly will be the last one.
Okay, Molly. Let's see. Give her something. Something to work with. This is such a typical answer, but he's standing right in front of you. And I feel that you are wanting to change up what you're wanting because what you're calling in is not what you really want. So I think it's love on, I don't know, I just see this guy standing right in front of you and he's a total nerd and somebody that you keep passing by and like brushing it off. But if you really knew this man, you would understand that this is the love of your life.
Does she know him?
Yeah, I feel like he is in a normal, like she feels younger, like it's like almost like they're in school. I feel that she's around a level. Is she answering?
No. Is there anybody on her Instagram?
Yes, but no question.
No questions? Okay. Nobody has any questions today? Normally we get bombarded.
No.
Molly said she's 22.
There you
Okay,
go.
there you go. She feels young. So I feel like she's around so many people.
She's
but
so young. Don't rush.
Don't
Please,
rush.
if you're in your 20s, enjoy your 20s. Like, enjoy them.
Good age to check that because when you're 22, you're always going for the hot jock, and he's not the one for relationship. Go for the nerd. Go for the cute guy that's super tech. Like he will take care of you, and it'll be amazing. Don't go for the hot. You know, you want the gold, not the glitter.
Exactly. But you'll figure that out later.
Start working on it now. World a better place. Do yourself a help. Have a great Valentine's Day. That would be amazing. Go out for it with like someone that's educated.
Yeah. So anyway, so now we have to go. Thank you so much for coming and being here. It was so much fun. When you come to New York, please come back. And I hope everything goes well with your twin flame and the person you met. And thank you all for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye. Have a great day.
Thank you.